It's Wednesday, June 8, 2022. Today's top news headlines. Ukrainian forces come under renewed Russian attack in key eastern city. South Korea's robust response to North Korea seen aiding Japan's military push. China hails iron-clad Cambodia ties as work begins on naval base. Brothers at odds, but ruling family still holds key to Sri Lanka's future. Vehicle drives into a crowd in Berlin. About 30 injured, fire brigade tells. New Zealand to price sheep and cow burps to cut greenhouse gases. Merkel says she doesn't blame herself for not trying hard enough for Ukraine. Norway donates 22 howitzers to Ukraine. Ukrainian forces may have to pull back in Sievierodonetsk, governor says. World Bank slashes global growth forecast to 2.9%, warns of stagflation risk. Chornobyl radiation detectors back online. Levels normal, IAEA says. Ex-Minister Farooq Wardak returns to Kabul. Government supports women's rights, says Afghan's Deputy Prime Minister. Lamy in Kabul to assess humanitarian crisis. Pakistan calls for release of Afghanistan's reserves. 6 more former government officials return to Uruzgan. New Jersey centrists frustrated with the two-party system are trying to legalize their dream. Government Kathy Hochul was largely on the defensive for much of the first debate of the Democratic candidates for governor. Oil ban exposes U.S. hypocrisy, Moscow says. Huge grain stockpile burned by Ukrainian militants, Moscow says. Germans warned of further food price hikes. Russian gymnast launches appeal after Z symbol ban. U.S. seeks to ban Russian uranium. Al-Qaeda vows revenge against India. He was a renowned comedian. Taliban threat forced him into exile. 0%. Disabled Nigerians seek electoral inclusion. World Ocean Day. A look at 8 critically endangered marine species. India. Why justice eludes many Dalit survivors of sexual violence. ECOWAS unhappy with Mali's 24-month transition decision. Ukraine needs to demine ports to allow grain exports, Lavrov says. Disgraced FIFA chiefs Sepp Blatter and Michel Platini go on trial. Over a dozen dead after bus falls into deep ravine in Pakistan. Unbannable. Copy of Handmaid's Tale auctioned for $130,000. Many killed, dozens injured in Iran train accident. East Africa nations agree on troop deployment to DRC. Venezuela's Maduro visits sister nation, Turkey to deepen ties. Mexico migrant caravan continues desperate journey to US. India's BJP asks staff to exercise caution after Islamic nations protest. Italian mafia clans including, 'Ndrangheta, pulling strings, in Australia. Russia's lawmakers vote to quit European Court of Human Rights. Over 1,000 Ukrainian soldiers sent to Russia for investigation. 22 killed as passenger van falls into ditch on national highway in Quetta. Sindh becomes first province to initiate oral medicine program for HIV. Imran's buddy, Trump also faces similar inquiry as Toshakana scandal. Ziba T. Hashmi is defining forced conversions. Video shows man in New York pushes old lady on train tracks. Supreme leader cautions against Zionist exploitation of governments seeking normalized relations with Tel Aviv. Iran finance minister pursuing finalization of Tehran-New Delhi cooperation roadmap. Parliament says supports expansion of Iran-Armenia ties. Iranian finance minister Amir Abdullah meets Indian NSA. UK's new work visa. Is it actually right for the best and brightest? Cabinet hikes MSP for Kharif marketing season 2022 and 23. Rate hike, withdrawal of accommodation calibrated to evolving inflation growth dynamics, RBI governor says. Only God can help. Hundreds die as Somalia faces famine. California U.S. House races could tip power in Congress. Russia draws closer to capture of Ukraine's Donbas region. Greener's fate tangled up with other American held in Russia. Migration gets top billing as Biden hosts hemisphere leaders.